On Safety Zone, we talk a lot about keeping our workers and equipment safe on the job. But we talk a lot about, or we don't talk a lot about, I should say, the environment itself. The very nature of construction surely alters the look of the environment. In an effort to protect Mother Earth, there are companies making a pact to ensure that what is left behind protects our environment. Here to tell us all about it is Eric Olson, Safety Director for Western Specialty Contractors. Eric, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So Eric, let's talk about what you guys have done to really talk about some safety policies that you guys are all kind of instilling into the construction marketplace.
Well, the first thing that we really do to include safety with everything is from the very beginning when we estimate our projects, we ensure that we cover costs and things like that that might jump up. And then we always make sure we have a solid work plan that goes into the project from beginning, mobilization, all the way through to the end of the demob. We plan every step, we have a plan, we communicate it with our workforce and make sure they have the tools and the knowledge they need to be successful.
How does that differ than what you guys do for, let's say, some of the competition out there?
Well, I think from a lot of the point that we deal with as a company is that we're a lot larger than most of our competitors, and so it's a lot easier for us to probably spend time and resources developing safety. I have a staff of several that work for me, and we travel around and we visit the job sites on a very regular basis, and we're dedicated to safety specifically. Some of our competitors aren't as large as us, and they can't afford or don't have the same resources that Western has, so we can put the time and effort into it to have a good, solid safety program.
Now, you guys have had a very impressive history, you know, for safety. I think if I looked at it, it was something like 100 years. You guys have been really focusing on this. But when you look at all the things you've been doing, safety is paramount, that we always say on the job site, but we still have way too many injuries, I think, of that. But now you guys look at the environment, too, as being one that have to work kind of in tandem. So how do you guys look at that, making sure the contractors out there are safe, but also how that plays in together with the environment when we think about it?
Well, for us, a lot of the environmental impacts that we have are kind of contained to the job site. We're not a big GC that's sprawled over large areas, so it's a little bit easier for us from that standpoint, but we certainly make a lot of effort to collect water runoff, deviate it, collect it. We choose products and materials that are environmentally sound. A lot of the times that the products we're using are VOC limited or VOC compliant, so there's not a big impact from the material we're using. So we try to communicate that with our ownership, so where there is some flexibility on the product to be installed, they ask us for our advice, and we say, well, we have some products here, these are very good, this is a great product, and it's also environmentally sound. So we do sometimes have some input there as to what materials we're actually using, and we try to use VOC low emission type products.
So you're really talking about, in order to do that, you really have to look at technology. Technology has to play a critical role in that. You can't just say, well, we know this is sound, but VOC sound. You're really saying technology has to play a key part in all of that.
Absolutely. One of the big things that we like to do as a company is we always have a good relationship with our material suppliers. And I'm not talking about the local supplier, I'm talking about the actual manufacturer of the material. So we have communications with them, our executive management meets with them, and we get to know the product suppliers and reps, and it helps us to really understand the product we're installing, and we become experts in that material. Not just how to actually install it, but we understand its components.
For those watching right now, they're probably thinking, is there a downside to being so environmentally conscious? Because I know we're all thinking about wanting to have this green footprint, but I think at the same side of that, there's got to be that other side that you go, you know, everybody has mixed emotions about it. What's your thoughts on that?
You know, from my standpoint, I'm not, you know, this huge environmental person, but I do respect the planet. I have a degree in biology, and it's one of the things that I hold dear to my heart. So for me, I feel that it doesn't take a huge change in work type or mentality to have an environmentally friendly impact. I think just choosing the correct products, instilling the collection, water runoff, things of that nature, collecting your material, and just doing little things can go a long way, and most of that comes from planning the job up front and knowing what you're going to get into.
So I guess the question that comes to mind, are there key steps that you can have or encourage companies who might be watching to say, here's some really simple steps to develop a safety program. You know, if you don't have to be this environmental, green, you know, crazy kind of company, but there's some basic steps you can get involved right now to make your company, you know, safe about, you know, having good safety programs, be environmentally conscious. Here's some things you could do right off the bat.
The easiest thing I would recommend is for the executive management to really understand and buy into the program. You can have a safety person that sit there on the job site and preaches safety all day long, but if management's not on board...
So you're saying top down first, gotta start there.
Absolutely. Top down, 100%. Ownership down. If they believe in it, buy into it, it will succeed. And at Western, the Bishop family, my bosses, they have all been very successful. They believe 100% in safety. Our biggest resource really is our people. We can buy new tools and new equipment. You can't buy new workers. So if you do the things that are going right, treat your folks the right way, have the right safety policies, you will have a great safety program.
Well, I'll tell you, Eric, it was great having you on the show today. So thank you for joining us for Safety Zone. We appreciate it. And that's it for Safety Zone for today.